This is not the outcome we had hoped for. And we know that there's been a lot of attention on this case. This was an act of violence that has no place in our city.
After she was missing for nearly 5 days, the body of 37-year-old Irene Luevano has been found. She was discovered in a remote area south of Salome, Arizona, today, January 20th, in La Paz County. To put that location into perspective, it's off the I-10 freeway as you're heading toward California, in the middle of the desert, truly in the middle of nowhere. It's a place where you wouldn't be able to find it unless you knew to go there.
This is True Crime Arizona, the podcast.
Our reporter Kim Powell was at the scene today and described what she could see from afar.
We were told it was near a rest area, but that is on the other side of a mountain that I'm looking at right now. But again, extremely remote area. There's one dirt road, and that's what me and my photographer are on right now. And I don't really know how detectives were able to get to the location that they're focusing on. But I will say where they're focusing, it looks like they taped off kind of a square area around some brush, and they are focusing their efforts in that bush area. We saw them bend down a couple times, getting a closer look at things, and that is where they're focusing their efforts. Just a handful of detectives out here from what we can tell, but we haven't seen anyone else here other than detectives in our vehicle.
Phoenix Police Sergeant Vincent Cole was asked in a press conference today what led investigators to that area. This is all he would say without elaborating.
Some of the information that we had developed through the course of the investigation is what led us to the body this morning. For the integrity of the investigation, that information is not being released at this time.
According to Phoenix Police, there were obvious signs of trauma on her body. However, they wouldn't go into detail about what the wounds or injuries were. But remember, Irene Luevano had called her daughter at 4 a.m. Sunday morning after being at a Phoenix bar with her boyfriend, Jorge Quintero Lara. She told her daughter Jorge had stabbed her and that she didn't think she would make it. From there, though, Irene and her car seemingly disappeared. Her family started searching immediately, and police ramped up their investigation too.
Family, friends, people that we don't even know, they're out here helping us. They're spreading a little bit of their time to come and help us, and that's something I'm really grateful. I'm grateful that they're all here with us at this moment.
Family members started checking many local hospitals to see if she had been admitted, but no hospitals had any record of her. However, Phoenix police said her boyfriend, Jorge Lara, showed up at a local hospital on Sunday with self-inflicted stab wounds. He was interviewed by detectives and arrested on unrelated charges of forgery. After admitting to detectives he had a fake Arizona ID and social security card and was working for the Sinaloa cartel selling drugs and pills. At that time, Irene and her car were still missing, but Jorge wasn't being charged with anything related to her disappearance. Eventually, her car was found at a Mexican restaurant off 107th Avenue and Lower Buckeye Road Tuesday night, about an hour and a half from where her body was found. And now, Jorge Lara is looking at much more serious charges.
Detectives have identified Jorge Quintero Lara as the primary suspect in this homicide. He is currently being held in the Maricopa County Jail for unrelated charges. Our detectives are currently working to add additional charges related to this homicide.
Even with Jorge as the primary suspect in her murder, there are still a lot of questions about it all that police aren't answering, at least not yet. Did Jorge act alone? What was his motive to allegedly kill Irene? Family said they had been dating for 2 years, but they did have a volatile past. What did police learn in the investigation that led them to that remote area in Salome? And did it come from an outside source, or did Jorge admit something himself? These are answers we'll still be pressing for as the homicide investigation continues. Our thoughts are with Irene Luevano's family. She was a mom to 6 kids and a grandmother. Her family spent days tirelessly searching for her, hoping she would be found alive. This isn't how they expected things to end.
Irene was a mother, a daughter, a sister, a friend, and a member of our community. And this is a tragedy for our community as a whole.
If you have any additional information in Irene Luevano's murder case, please call the Phoenix Police Department. True Crime Arizona, the podcast, is hosted by me, Brianna Whitney, and produced by Sergio Hernandez. This episode was edited by Brad Denny. It's a production of Arizona's Family, 3TV, CBS 5, and azfamily.com in Phoenix, Arizona.